channel. In this channel, we discuss topics such as beauty, self-empowerment, and things that just interest me. So today, we will be talking about or exploring the question of how not to be embarrassed as a digital creator. Now, if you are in the works or you're thinking about sharing your talents, your gifts online, this is something that might come up for you. And I say this because it came up for me as well. I remember there was a period in my journey of being a digital creator where I didn't want anybody that I knew in real life to see the videos that I was doing. And I'm at a point that I can say today, I feel neutral if friends and families watch the work that I'm doing. So I'm going to be sharing some of the work that I've been doing to get myself to this point. And I really hope that some of the things that I mention or that I talk about help you. So, the first thing that I want to do is define embarrassment. And I was looking into this. Like yesterday when I was preparing myself to talk about this topic, and according to the new Oxford American Dictionary, embarrassed means to feel awkward, self-conscious, or ashamed. So the feeling of embarrassment is tied to an emotion. And now if you come or have experience where being embarrassed was linked to a negative emotion, like it was something like bad or sad, or in this case like a shame, then of course there's going to be like a certain block to it that's not going to let you move forward, or it's going to be, you're constantly going to be going against yourself when you're dealing with this embarrassment. And sometimes, and in my experience, my nervous system was constantly like blocking me from showing up, because again, some of the topics that I wanted to discuss online, I felt they were a little bit too out there or too vulnerable. And sometimes, like for example, sometimes I didn't feel like I have the credentials besides my personal experience, because I often talk about the things that I've experienced myself in my life. So now that we have that, the definition of embarrassment, and again, it's also linked to you being self-conscious, meaning you're becoming aware and conscious of your own self. And usually the self is the persona, right? Your characteristics as a person. So I want you to think about, what's really embarrassing about being a digital creator. Because again, in my experience, being embarrassed as a digital creator, I was not necessarily ashamed, but more self-conscious, because I wanted to control how other people perceive me. But if you truly think about it, you cannot control how other people perceive you. You definitely cannot control how other people perceive you. What you can control is like you yourself, how you want to show up as, and be intentional about it. And by the way, I'm gonna list a framework that I do, like right before I create like a video or do any type of digital creator, that keeps me in check, so that I'm very intentional with what I create. Because that's also another thing. Like when you are not intentional about what you create and you're not conscious about what you're creating, sometimes you can create things that are coming from fear, that are coming from lack, that are coming from a disempowered state. And you look at it a few months later and you're like, who was that person? So anyways, I'm gonna share a little framework that I do to help me, just be intentional with what I'm creating. Another thing that I want to talk about is the fear of being seen. In my experience, I've noticed also as well that there was also a fear of being seen, and it goes back again to us becoming so hyper focused on the self, and that it doesn't let us see beyond what we're creating. Because again, like for me, something that helped me pass through the embarrassment, or just work through the embarrassment, was checking in. What was the reason that I was creating? Like, what's the reason for me creating this video? And I'll give you guys an example, guys and girls. There's an example. Like this video that I'm creating, the intention for with this video is to help highly sensitive people, creators, artists, help them through their fear of embarrassment. So I have an intention that it goes beyond myself. So it helps me to know that this video is also helping. The intention is to guide, I'm not gonna say help, but guide other creators and artists and highly sensitive people, so that they can feel free to express themselves online with their digital creations. I also want to mention, because it's easier said than done, right? Like it's easier said than done. Like how to not feel embarrassed. Don't feel embarrassed. I'm so sorry, but like it's so true. Like it's easier said than done. However, I want you to compassionately ask yourself if there was something in your past that being seen caused trauma. Because if there is trauma involved in your ability to express yourself and your ability to be seen, then it's going to be challenging to show up consistently, and your nervous system, like the feeling in the body, it's going to create so much fear that it's not going to let you do it. So again, I want you to bring in a lot of compassion and ask yourself if this is something that you are experiencing, and absolutely find ways to get professional help, because that is going to guide you or help you move forward into what you want to do in your life and how you want to express yourself. So I wanted to mention that because for some of us there could have been trauma, whether it was in our current lifetime, whether it is ancestral. Like sometimes we don't even know where the trauma is coming from, but it's like this visceral fear that you feel it in the body, and you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I feel like I'm in so much danger if I upload a video online. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, which is something that I've experienced myself, is like I realized too that sometimes I was scared of feeling embarrassed. It's not necessarily that I felt embarrassed in creating the videos, but I was scared of feeling embarrassed after a while of creating a video, because I was unqualified or that I made a mistake. And something, that has helped me with that thought is to have a lot of self-compassion and tell myself that if I make a mistake, it is human to make mistakes, and to learn from my mistakes, right? To give myself permission to learn from my mistakes. There might be something in this video that I'm not, saying that is politically correct, or that I might be spreading misinformation. Now, I try my best to educate myself, and to be intentional with what I'm saying. However, I also know that there may be a possibility of something that I'm not seeing. And if that's the case, I am going to have compassion for myself, acknowledge my wrongdoings, and learn from my mistakes. So I hope that helps. Okay, another thing is managing external opinions, and I cannot express how important this is. I am truly open to other people's experiences, to other people's point of views, how they might see things. However, it is important for you to get really clear on what belongs to you, like how you see yourself, and who you are, and what are other people's opinions and expectations and statements and all of that. So I think also, before you get to the stage, you have to have a great sense of self. And having a great sense of self, how I experience the self is on a personal level. Like, get to know who you are on a personality level. Like, that changes, of course. That can change, of course, throughout, life experiences, throughout the years, situations that happen. But it is truly important for you to get to know who you are as an individual and as a person, so that when others come, and they say something to you that might be hurtful, or that might be that might shake your own personal reality, you know who you are. So I think that's actually a really important point, in order for you to get to the level of, like, not feeling, or being okay with feeling embarrassed, or what you think it's embarrassing, when sharing your work online. Okay, I got interrupted because my baby woke up, but I think I was looking through my notes, and I think I said everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. So I will now tell you guys kind of like a little framework that I came up with that helps me when creating anything, whether it is, a product, a video, that helps me like ground and helps me get extremely clear on what it is that I am creating, so that the message is clear, so that I know exactly the purpose and what I'm doing exactly. So thanks again. This is my little framework that I've created for myself, and I feel like it has worked so well, and just keeping myself sharp and clear. So things to do creating. So the first thing that I do is clear my space. So whether that is my physical space, my body, my thoughts, and with with thoughts, what I mean by that is like, if there's a thought that comes to my, my awareness, and it's a disturbing thought, I either, acknowledge the thought and imagine putting the thought like away, like just clearing it like a little cloud. I just put it away outside of like my awareness. And then what I do is, so clearing the space. And then what I do is set an intention. So I give you guys an example. The intention with this video is to empower sensitive people, creative people, to empower them with tools and information that can help them navigate through their feelings of feeling embarrassed when they are making a digital creation, a video, or something in that realm. So 1, clear space. 2, set an intention. 3, I welcome energies that I want in my space. So like, for example, right before I did this video, one of the ways that I prepared myself was like listening to certain songs. I actually found a really great artist, and she sings in Spanish. I'll link her YouTube channel like down in the description box, but it was like really about like self-love, like just talking kindly to herself, just bringing in a lot of like sweetness. And again, when I created this video, I wanted to bring a lot of like empowerment energy, and healing energy. And yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I usually prepare myself in that way. And the fourth thing is that I breathe. I know that I mentioned this in a lot of my videos, but honestly, breath is it's so healing for me in the way that it truly brings so much to my nervous system. Every time that I breathe, I feel like some sense of calmness, and I try to calm myself down because again, I'm really passionate about the work that I do, but I have to again ground myself and make sure that the information that I give is really practical. So again, that is the fourth step. And the fifth step is that I'm truly always asking, who is this going to serve? My videos are not for everybody. They're really specific. So I'm like, I always ask, who is this going to serve? Because yes, while in a way is self-serving in the sense that I'm sharing information and practices and tools that are helping me and have helped me in my journey, I also think about, who is this going to serve? And I take myself out of the equation and I think about you and how you're going to receive this information and the questions that you may have, like, so that I answer most of the things that I think you will ask in this video, or that you might need, by clicking on this video. So, oh my goodness, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you clicking on this video and spending time with me and your support. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.